Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com, reporting on the new normal of climate superstition. I'm sitting here in my home in Cheyenne, Wyoming, where we're having our coldest October day on record. Temperatures this afternoon are only forecast to get up to 9 degrees Fahrenheit. The average temperature for this date is 58 degrees Fahrenheit, and the previous October cold record occurred on October 30th, 1991, when Cheyenne only got up to 11 degrees Fahrenheit. We're buried in deep snow, as is Colorado, but if you read the New York Times today, you would think that everything around here was on fire. Now let's go back 15 years. In 2004 and 2005, the U.S. had a lot of hurricane strikes, and experts in the press declared it to be the new normal. This graph shows the number of major U.S. hurricane strikes every year going back to 1851. You can see that 2004 and 2005 were particularly bad. But right after 2005, major hurricanes disappeared from the U.S. for 12 years. That was the longest period on record in the United States without a major hurricane strike. And in 2016, the Washington Post was terrified by the lack of hurricanes striking the United States. Washington Post, August 4th, 2016. Hurricanes large and small have eluded U.S. shores for record lengths of time. It's unprecedented and it's terrifying. So when the U.S. gets hurricanes, it's unprecedented and terrifying, and when the U.S. doesn't get hurricanes, it's the same story. The reality is that the U.S. used to get a lot more major hurricanes, and that they've generally declined in frequency over the last 70 to 80 years. But every time there's a big year, climate alarmists declare it to be the new normal. This graph shows the number of all categories of hurricanes striking the U.S. every year since 1851. The worst year was in 1886. In 1886, Texas was hit by 4 hurricanes and Florida was hit by 3 hurricanes. The city of Indianola, Texas was wiped off the map permanently by a Category 4 hurricane. While Grover Cleveland was president, the United States was hit by an unprecedented 26 hurricanes. Climate alarmists always believe that the weather is getting more extreme and getting more dangerous. They believed this in 1974, and they blamed it on global cooling at the time. July 15, 1974. Drought, floods, blizzards, tornadoes, typhoons, and hurricanes have plagued much of the nation and the world in recent years. For the long run, there's mounting evidence of a worldwide cooling trend. This was the official global temperature graph being distributed by the National Center for Atmospheric Research at the time, showing temperatures plummeting around the world. Climate alarmists always believe that the weather is getting worse and that the bad weather is going to come kill people. But the reality is that the death rate from bad weather has plummeted over the last century. This is largely due to the availability of fossil fuels. Unlike a century ago, people are now able to keep their families warm during cold weather because there's lots of natural gas and other fossil fuels available. And when a hurricane's approaching, they can just get in their car and drive away and escape disaster. The belief that man's sins are leading to a climate disaster is a very old idea. Most people were taught this in Sunday school as children. Belief in a man-made climate disaster is a very old idea and a very primitive one. Yet people who cling to this superstition imagine that they're very sciencey and sophisticated. Fortunately, we have a new prophet who's going to save us from fossil fuels and save us from climate disaster.
But kiddo, I want you to just take a look, okay? You don't have to agree, but I want you to look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I am not going to cooperate. Okay?
If he actually did this, it would be one of the largest catastrophes in world history, killing countless millions of people. When a country sinks into anti-science superstition like the United States is reveling in at the current time, bad things are on the horizon. And all of this junk science and superstition did not happen by accident. It's been heavily funded for years and widely promoted by the press. It's extremely cold outside, and without fossil fuels, there'd be lots of people freezing to death right here, right now. Toto is very happy that we can go to the thermostat, turn the temperature up, and keep our fossil fuel powered house warm and comfortable so that I can continue to make videos. Many people have gotten very used to being comfortable and safe, and they don't understand where their comfort and security comes from. But if this anti-science superstition continues for much longer, people are going to learn the hard way. Politically motivated junk science has become the new normal, and Toto is spending his time exposing it. You can visit Toto and Kyrie on the web at realclimatescience.com.